Hi everybody, it's Diana with Stamping with Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel and this week's Mimeograph Monday with a Twist. I'm so glad to be back. I had so much fun at backstage in Vegas. I even got this cute t-shirt. And I'll also show you the cute bag we got. Oh my gosh, this bag is so nice. It's really thick and there's a zipper and it's just totally my style, right? It's just so country. And we got some pens. We got a notebook to keep notes on. We didn't get any, hang on a second. I lost my microphone thing. We didn't get any door prizes or anything, which surprised me a little bit. But then I kept thinking, well, do we usually get door prizes at backstage? Because backstage is like a leadership. So anyway, so if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Diana, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. So Jeff and I just got back from Vegas. That's where the backstage was. It was at the beautiful Red Rock Casino and Spa Resort. And we'd been there before. And it is just really, really nice. It's off the strip. And that's why I like it, because I'm not a big Vegas person, like the strips and all the craziness that goes on there. And we're not gamblers. Now, if the Powerball gets to be $1 billion, we'll go get a ticket. But other than that, you know, we like to have something to show for our money. So we usually are not into the gambling. But the resort is nice, right? So if you do like to gamble, it's there, but you're not on the strip. So, and we did everything there. Last time we had to be bussed to the strip because we went to the Cirque du Soleil, the Beatles Love thing, which was amazing. But this time it was all held at the resort. We didn't have to go anywhere. We made, oh, I have to show you. The last night event was like a Western. So there was line dancing, karaoke. You could make your own cowboy hats. So this is the hat I picked. I don't know if it's necessarily a cowboy hat because of the shape of it, but it's really, really cute. And so Jeff, the one he did was more cowboy hat. And it's in the house, so I don't have that to show you. But so I'll show more stuff another day because I have Mimeograph Monday, and that means I have 2 projects to do. So I don't want you to have to be here all day. Although thank you for letting me take last week off, so I didn't have to worry about being near my phone or whatever when my lives go. But we did get the mini catalog. That's all I can show you. Just the cover for January and April. And there's also going to be some new online exclusives as well, starting in January. So you want to make sure, if you want to get a mini catalog from me, you want to make sure that you've ordered at least $50 before tax and shipping in the last 6 months. If you haven't, I just think you're not stamping anymore, or you're ordering from another demonstrator, and then you'll get your mini catalog from them. If you aren't sure, just reach out to me and say, are you sending me a mini catalog? And then I will let you know, like, yes, no, you know, you still have time, because I will be putting that order in the end of the month. That's when I do my customer selector, which basically is just like a system that Stampin' Up! Has, and I just pick the people that I want catalogs to go to. All right, so that I think is all I wanted to blab about at the beginning. So yeah, so if you are new to my channel, I am in the chat room during the video premiere. So head on over there. I'll be there with my friends. If you're watching the replay, you have a question or a comment, leave it below. YouTube lets me know, and then I can reach out to you. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to adjust my camera for a sec so we can get started. So close your eyes for a second. So what I'm going to use today is the new Pop-Up Petals, and you can find this in my online store, and it has a coordinating die. So we're going to use both. I'm also going to use the Perennial Postage die and the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. And I just have a little purple thing on there. It looks blue in the video, but it's just purple. This just reminds me I need to use the purple. It used to be purple, now it's gray, but you have to use a different sandwich when you put it through your cut and emboss. So just follow your instruction. But just reminds me, oh, I need to use the other tray. All right. Now also, this comes in the new size envelopes. So look how cool this is. So these, so now the stamp sets, when we run out of the cases, right, that we've had like for the last few years, the you know, the CD cases, we called them. If you might see, like my Darling Dinos, for instance, came like this, right? This is a CD case. But now if you look online, it will say new. Even though that my Darling Dinos isn't new, it now comes in this case. So it has a new because it has a new number. So yeah, so this is in the new case. And these are really nice. Now, they don't take up any room at all. And then what I'm doing with these, I am learning how I want to put these in their envelope. All right, so you have your little envelope, you have your, you know, your sleeve or whatever. So when you get them, it has the little protector on there. It's in here like that. And I'm going like this, or you can go like this. But I have used my label maker, and I just went Pop-Up Petals. I put a little asterisk, and I did it on the die too. And this just tells me that there's something that goes with it. Maybe it's a punch, maybe it's a die, but this just kind of reminds me, okay, there's something that goes with it, you know, so I know to look for something. All right. And then when you, you know, use them, you can take them out or whatever. Now, in the olden days or whatever, these were printed on the plastic and they're not now. So what you can do is you can lay, because these are true to size, so that is different. These were not true to size before. So now what you can do is you can lay this plastic on here when you want to put them away, and you can, like, you know, so now this one would go over here, you know, and you can put them away like that. So they're not that way when you first get them, like this is how they came, so they're not necessarily in the right spot or whatever. But I think this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm just going to, like, when I use it, that's gonna go there. You know, that's gonna go there. And then I'll keep this, because a lot of times I throw these away. And I'll keep that, I'll slide that on there, and then it'll just go right in the case. So that's how my mind is going to go with these. And then I'm just going to slide them into here, so I can, you know, I can see that it's in there. And then I'm gonna put this like this, and then this little flap thing won't catch on anything, right? And I think that's how I'm gonna do it. So like I said, since these are the full size, you can tell exactly what, you know, goes with the set, and I think that's good. Now, all right, so that was just a little what I'm gonna do, I think. All right, so let's get to the card. So the card is this one right here. And this is such a cute set. Oh my gosh, it is adorable. All right, so I'm going to do a little stamping ahead of time. I have some scrap on my desk. All right, so I just got some basic white. And we have the cute little vase with the polka dots, and this is Lost Lagoon. I am going to use it is photopolymer, so from now on anything new will be the photopolymer style. We're not going to have the red rubber anymore. Now that's not to say you won't get red rubber in the store, because if we still have red rubber, you know, in stamp sets, you will. But from now on, anything new will be in the photo polymer. All right, so I'm just going to ink this up with the Lost Lagoon. And I don't think I'm using Lost Lagoon anywhere else. Okay, then I have my Memento, because I'm going to do some coloring with the blends. So we have our beautiful sunflowers. Now they didn't color them like sunflowers. But remember, this is my Mimeograph Monday with a twist. So this is the first card I'm doing is Stampin' Up's version, and then I'm going to do a twist. And that will be more my style. All right, so we need 3 butterflies. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to die cut these out. All right, so let's see what else I need to do. I also need to do my greeting. And that's on Petal Pink with Early Espresso. Early Espresso is one of those that I re-ink more often than a lot of them, but I think it's going to be all right. Another reason why if you use this mat, it helps because it gives it a little more gushy and just helps a little bit. All right, so I have that ready. Now I also am going to take my blending brush, and with Crumb Cake, I did this, that 3D folder, and I'm going to take the white craft pad, and I'm going to get some white craft on there, and we're just going to put some on here. And this is going to emphasize those plaid 3D lines. And I'm just rubbing it so it really shows, but also that will kind of help that white dry if I rub it into the paper a little bit more. So you can also use your heat tool to set it, but that just gives it like, see, it has that white sheen to it. And then I just have craft white on here, so then I know that this is the one I used for that. And you can tell I've been messing around with my white pad because it's got a little different color on it because I wasn't behaving with it. All right, so we have that. Now I'm going to let that dry. And while that's drying, let me get my pieces. So I did die cut ahead of time. And this is just basic white thick. And we're just going to, I use the Country Woods, let me get this folded. I used the Country Woods DSP. And I just have anything that I have cut smaller than 12 by 12, I just have it in like a little envelope. So I always grab that first before I go to, you know, a full sheet. Because you'll be amazed at how much cardstock you can save, DSP cardstock, by doing that. And I do the same thing with my cardstock. I have, you know, hanging folders, and I think I've shown them before. I have hanging folders, and I just put all my little strips and cut sheets, and it's alphabetical by my my cutting station, and I go there first before I cut a 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11. And again, you'll save a lot of cardstock that way. All right, so this is just that DSP, and they have glued it directly to the card. And they do this a lot. So you don't see the card. You just see that really, really fun wood texture. Okay. And then also, this is that perennial, and then the top is just cut off a little bit to give you like a flat edge, and then this is going to get glued on here as well. So it's almost like a tabletop or whatever that the little pot is sitting on. And I'm just using my green tip glue. It lets me have a little wiggle room in regards to gluing stuff when it has to be right, you know, right on here, right on here. It just gives you a little bit of wiggle room, I like to say. All right, so let's start coloring. All right, so we have Lost Lagoon because we have Lost Lagoon here. So we're using Lost Lagoon again, and then that's what Stampin' Up! Used. So I just used the recipe, and I just pulled out what they said they used. And I'm just making this first card like they said. So that was Lost Lagoon. Then we have Petal Pink. And Petal Pink is also on there. We have Light Mossy Meadow on the leaves. Mossy Meadow is like my car color. All right, and this is the light one. The dark one is pretty dark. All right, then we have, what else do we have here? We also have a, like looking at my colors, hold on. Okay, so we have dark peach. And it goes there, and then we have dark peach. So like I said, they did not color these like sunflowers. They colored them more like maybe a daisy. All right, so that is the dark peach, and then I'll take the light peach and just finish it. Okay, I'm gonna make sure you can see good. All right, and then we have Cajun. So Cajun is pretty dark, so I'm going to use the light Cajun over here on this butterfly. And it had the blue center. Okay, so now my butterflies are done. All right, and then we have our flower. So they did them with Cajun. So I'm going to go dark Cajun, just up next where the center is. So just a little bit. And then we'll finish with the light. And then this way we're giving the white craft pad some time to dry while we're doing all this. All right, and then just a light Cajun to finish. So yeah, so we had lots of fun. We drove. It's like a 5-6 hour drive. So we had the car. So Jeff always likes to check things out. So he did come to like the morning and the evening sessions. I was bad, and I only went to one class because I go to the events to see people, you know, that I don't get to normally see, because I can listen to the classes later. I did watch my friend Brenda's class, and but the rest, you know, Jeff and I just went to lunch. We just kind of, you know, enjoyed time away, and like I said, because I can listen to the classes later. But I can't visit with my friends later, right? Because they don't live near me. All right. So we have this. So let's see if this is pretty dry. So now we can just start to assemble. So this is on the card, kind of cockeyed, a little askew. And I'm using the green tip glue just because we have all of these nooks and crannies. And then it'll just stick to the card better. All right, so, and it is kind of askew, like I said. Cattywampus. Whatever word you use to mean crooked. All right, and then I'm going to build this before I put it on here. So we have, I need my little dimensionals here. We'll use big dimensionals. So I'm just going to put 1 and 2 because I do want to be able to stick the flower inside the pot. So I want to make sure I keep my dimensionals away from there so I can tuck it in there. And this is kind of crooked too. And then we have our butterflies. And I'm going to use the baby dimensionals for the butterflies. And they are just flying around. Okay. So this is going to go in here. But it does have a piece of twine or thread tied around it. So I'm just going to loop that on there. My baby, just so that it's on there, so that once I glued it to the card, my thread is all ready to go. All right, and then I'm just going to stick this into there like that, and now I can tie my thread. And I just cut, you know, a bunch of it. I didn't measure it by no means. So it will be nice and long. So there you got that. And then we can trim the tails if we want. Usually I leave them till I see how it lays. Because sometimes, especially like the baker's twines and the linen thread, they're like really lightweight. So it kind of looks cool if it's all kind of every which way. All right, now I'm going to put this on the card, and then we'll put our greeting on. And then we'll do the twist. Okay, let me put one in here just so it doesn't sink, or you know what I mean. Support the center, but we don't have to take the backing off. You just basically need it as it saves that space. All right, and then this kind of goes on crooked as well. And then we have our greeting, which is just fussy cutted. And this is petal pink because we use petal pink on the butterflies. And again, I'm just using the recipe. I like this saying, you get me, and I appreciate that. So I'm an odd duck. I will be the first one to admit it. So this is kind of a fun greeting. All right, so I'm just putting those in the center there because it's going to overlap this. So you get me. And I appreciate that. All right, so there is the first card. And I might trim that because it is going up into there. I'm just going to trim it just a little bit. But I am leaving some length because I like all that. It just looks cute, right? With the little, it's kind of fluid. All right, so there's the first card. All right, so let's do the twist now. Twist, I pulled out some different colors, some different dyes. And so I'm going to use the Stylish Shapes Branching Out. And I think Branching Out is turning out to be one of my favorite new dies. And it just has like a really fun shape to it. I also picked some of the different Country Woods DSP. All right, so let's get started here. All right, now I'm going to stamp directly on the branching out. All right, so we have the sunflowers. Of course I'm using the sunflowers again, and I'm just using them with the Memento. I'm going to stamp them right here. Now, I haven't done this card. I'm just kind of going by the seat of my pants. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. All right. And then we have this vase here. And I did die cut it out, but you could stamp it directly too. But I did die cut it out. What else am I going to do? All right. Now, this stamp set also, like you can color it in like I did the first card. But it also has, it's like a, oh my gosh, Diana, what is it? Two-step stamping. So you can fill in like the part, so if you don't want to color it in. So I'm going to kind of do both. So I have crumb cake. And I'm going to stamp that in here. So now my little circles are colored. It also has it with the sunflower or the daisy as well. And I'm using Lemon Lolly. So it's a bright yellow. And to stand up so I can see. Hold on a second, because the camera's right in my way. Okay, so see, now it's kind of hard to see the camera, but anyway, there you go. So now you can see it's colored in. But you know me, I'm also going to fiddle fart with it. All right, so I've done that, but now you could leave it as is and go, oh my gosh, that's good, but I am going to play around with it. So I have my light gray granite, and I'm going to put a little around the flowers, which will just make them pop off the page a little bit. Okay. I'm also going to add a little bit more color to the flower. So I'm just going to take my daffodil, my dark daffodil, and right in the center where those petals come out, I'm just going to add some dark daffodil. Now you don't have to, but you know me. Okay. I don't know why I have this pad under here. All right. Okay. So that's just going to add a little bit darker. I'm also going to do the same thing with the dark pecan pie. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to add it just on the bottom here, underneath where I stamped that crumb cake. And that's just going to add a little shading, little shadow in the centers of my sunflowers, which just makes it a little bit more realistic. All right, I'm also going to take some dark granny apple and put a little on my leaves. And then I'll finish with lemon lime twist. Okay, so that just kind of makes the flowers have a little bit more color going on. I'm also going to take my gel pen and put some little dots. I need to get a different gel pen. I found this one in a drawer. I wanted to see if it worked, and it doesn't. All right, so hold on. There we go. Nice fresh one. I was cleaning the studio before we left. I was like, oh, here's a gel pen. All right, so that just kind of adds a little bit of something, something. All right, I also want, now this is that vase. So I chose the different vase that comes in it. And so I want to make my vase look a little rusty. So I have my light Cajun Craze. I'm just going to put a little, like on the bottom, just to make it look a little rusty. So it just gives it a little something, something. It's been sitting out in the weather. It's got a little rust on it. All right. Just so it's not plain. All right, and then I'm going to bring this over here, and we're going to put it right on top of there. And I'm going to use the glue dots. I want to give it a little raise, but I don't want to put a dimensional there, so if you see it from the side, there wouldn't be a plant there, or the pot. If you wanted to put the dimensionals, then I would actually stamp the pot there and then glue the other one on there, and then you would see it underneath. All right, so that is just going to go there, but I am going to, where's my twine? I'm going to do the same thing like we did with the twine before. So I want that twine to be under there before I glue it. There we go. Bring this back over. Okay, now I can tie it on there. Because I'm going to put it on the pot instead of the plant this time. So have you started decorating for Christmas yet? Now that we're back from Vegas, I'm like tempted. We did buy a new Christmas tree this year. Not a big one. It's like a skinny kind of looking one. So I'm kind of anxious to see how it will look. So I should have Jeff pull it down. All right. Now I also want to put a greeting. So I want to see if I can stamp this greeting on here without making a mess. All right. So I have my pecan pie, and I'm hoping I can get that greeting on there. So we'll see. This is that Stylish Shapes. You get me, and I appreciate that. Cross your fingers. It did fit. Perfect. All right. Because I didn't want a big fat greeting. All right. So that's going to go on there. So let me bring the rest of my card over. So I like to add that little bit of rust because this kind of looks shabby looking. And I think this is, out of that whole pack of paper, I really have been using this a lot. So, all right, so I have my green tip glue. just going to put this on the inside like that. All right. And then I'm also going to put a greeting on the inside. So there's this other one that says, "Grateful for your friendship." And I think that goes so well with that other greeting. Okay. And then I did cut the DSP smaller so that I could see the card behind. Because you know the Stampin' Up! One, the DSP was cut the same size and it was glued directly to the card. But I want to be able to see the card. So I cut my DSP a tad bit smaller so that I can see my card. I kind of like seeing the card, that little bit of a frame. So there's that. But isn't this, I just love this shabby looking paper. It's kind of beach-like. Okay, and then the inside. Now, a lot of times I don't stamp a greeting on the inside, but these two go really well. And it looks good with it. All right, so I'm going to put this here. I am going to put this on with dimensionals so it'll pop off of there. Okay. So that's just going to go right. It looks kind of in the center. And then we have to decide where we're going to put our greeting. So we put it up here or down here. I'm almost tempted to put it up here because I really don't want to cover up that cute little vase that I've put all the rust on. So I think I'm going to put this up here, but I am going to put it off to the side a little bit. So this will hold it, and then I put a little bit of green tip, and that will also hold it as well. So I think that looks pretty straight. But I am going to put a little bling. And I'm going to use the antique pearls just because this is kind of shabby. So I think these will look perfect. And they're not super, you know, they don't have tons of color on them. So we have 1, 2, 3. Do I need more? I don't think I need more. I think I like that. Just like that. And I might even, watch me mess this up. I'm tempted to cut this edge off. I better not. I might mess it up. Because I was just going to cut this straight. But I made that dimensional come right to the edge. I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. All right, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But I am going to kind of mess these corners up a little bit. And kind of shabby that up. Just to give it a little something. There, that looks cute. All right, So let me stick this back in here. Let me show you. So this was the online version in my store, and then this is my twist. So I like them both. They're both really cute. You know, they're very similar, right? They're pretty much the same card, just different dies, maybe a little different technique. But I did want to show you that this does have that two-step stamping. So if you didn't want to color the whole thing in, you know, you can use that. And then you wouldn't even need to go in there and add the extra dark. I just kind of liked, you know, like doing that. All right, so let me say, see you later, alligator. So tomorrow I did get the kits, the November kits. So there's an Adventure Awaits kit and the Everyday Beauty kit. So I'll be showing one of those. I'm not sure which tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays, and that will be at 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. And then Friday for my Dies Shorts, I'll do the other one. So I will do them this week. You want to make sure you grab the kits because some of them you can't get. I know that I swapped. I had the artisan design team. I was on the artisan design team in 2009, like a long time ago. And then so we get together at the events and usually go to supper, and it's nice to get to meet the current design team and other girls and guys from past years. So I did swap, throw my boxes down. I swapped, remember I did the, oh my gosh, Diana, the truck. Oh my gosh, the kit that had the really cute red truck. So I did make a bunch of ornaments and I swapped those because it's such a cute kit. But like I said, make sure you go in there. Some of the Christmas ones aren't available. These ones should be because they're not Christmas. Oh, I don't even know what I'm talking about here. The adventure, I'm like looking at the card I just did. The adventure. Now this one might. So this is the really cute Adventure Awaits kit. That one could run out. I mean, it's not Christmas, but it's super cute. And then the other one, let me get it unwrapped. I didn't even unwrap it. And then, so like I said, I'll do one tomorrow and I'll do one on Friday. But grab them while you can. Any of the kits. If you go to my store, just go over to the left side and then you can just search for kits and they'll come up. There is going to be, though, on November 25th to December the 1st, a Black Friday sale. We've never done a Black Friday sale before. So it'll be up to 40% off select items. I don't know what they're going to be. I won't know till you know. But definitely shop early on November the 25th and, you know, get that Black Friday stuff. All right, and then the other kit, I don't think this is a Christmas one either. So I would think that these should stay in there. But like I always say, if there's something you want, don't wait. Oh, this is this one that had the wax, like wax-like thingies. So anyway, so I will be doing one tomorrow and one on Friday. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays. Again, that will be 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. If you are new or you watched me like a long time ago, remember I'm in Arizona and our time doesn't change. So if you changed your clocks recently, it might be different. So just Google what time is it in Arizona, and then you'll know. Because I always go 3 o'clock my time, so it might not be, 3 o'clock your time. All right, I'm going to stop blabbing. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.